China has its hands full, but it wants to flex its muscle. Situations like these bear no fruit. They only lead to tensions totally uncalled for. And something like this has happened at the border, a standoff with India. After more than a month, it looks like the Chinese have had to eat crow. Their troops have moved back from several points in eastern Ladakh. And this is the beginning of the de-escalation, and this is our cover story tonight. India and China have disengaged at 4 points, we are told. Patrolling point or PP-14, which is the north of Galwan Valley, PP-15, the south of Galwan, PP-17A, the hot spring, and the Pangong Lake, where both sides have reduced deployment. This is what we know as of now. The Chinese troops have moved back by 2.5 kilometers. The People's Liberation Army has moved its troops, its infantry and combat vehicles. Indian forces have also disengaged at least at 4 points. This is the first disengagement in a month-long standoff between India and China, and this is why it is important to look at the events that led to it. First of all, talks. India and China are currently engaging in military-level talks. There were Lieutenant General level talks on the 6th of June, that is 3 days ago. The Indian delegation was led by Lieutenant General Harinder Singh. He is the general officer commanding the 14 Corps. Heading the Chinese delegation was the commander of the Tibet Military District. These talks were held at Moldo. This is on the Chinese side of the line of actual control, LAC. Sources have told WION that some of the disengagement had already happened before the talks on Saturday. More followed in the past couple of days. And at least one flashpoint still remains, the Pangong So or the Pangong Lake. So is lake in Tibetan. And this area is likely to come up in future talks. So we can confirm to you tonight that there are more military-level talks on the cards between India and China. There's a major general-level meeting scheduled for tomorrow. The P.L.A. and the Indian forces will also talk at divisional and brigade commander levels. India and China have also been engaging in diplomatic talks. And here's something else that you must know. Before the disengagement, there was a rejig in the P.L.A. China appointed a new commander to oversee the Western Theatre Command, which includes this region we're talking about. It involves the very same unit that has been deployed in eastern Ladakh. Shu Qiling is the name of this new commander. He was previously in charge of the Eastern Theatre Command, and he was asked to swap his post with He Wei Dong, the man who was commanding the P.L.A. in the Ladakh region. Why is this change important? Because the man who has been made in charge of the region near Ladakh is described as a rising star in the People's Liberation Army. Shu is 57 years old. He enjoys the confidence of Xi Jinping. Shu is 5 years younger than his predecessor. So why was he suddenly told to take over the Western Theatre Command? Is this a shift in China's approach? Does China finally realize that aggressive posturing will not help? The standoff in eastern Ladakh is being called India's worst ever border standoff since the 1999 Kargil conflict. Tensions escalated in at least 5 points in eastern Ladakh. Who triggered it? China did. What triggered it? Construction activity. India has been laying roads on its side of the border in its own territory to safeguard and secure its own border. But this has rattled the Chinese. So they deployed more troops to the LAC. Now reports claim that China even sent its air defense system and radars. How did India respond? Did India stop the construction activity? Quite the contrary. India continues to secure its border as it engages in talks with China, which is the right thing to do and the right of every sovereign nation. Military preparedness is not hostility. It should not be read as hostility. India's roads are aimed at providing connectivity to India's subsector north area. The first road is the Darbuk-Shayok Daulat Beg Oldi Road. It is called the DSDBO Road. It is a link to India's northernmost outpost, Daulat Beg Oldi. The second road provides an alternative link to this outpost. This road is being built from Sasoma to Saserla. It is at the height of almost 17,800 feet. The Border Roads Organization, or the BRO, is overseeing the construction of both these roads. Nearly 12,000 workers are being ferried to these construction sites. India will not stop the activity as China and India engage in Ladakh. What is that one thing that the P.L.A. should learn from this standoff? Bluster does not work. China's threats and posturing did not deter India during the 2017 Doklam standoff. They have not deterred India now in Ladakh, and there's no reason to believe that the future should be different. What should India's leaders learn from this standoff? To keep politics out of national security. Unfortunately, here too, there's no reason to believe that the future should be different. In the middle of a pandemic and a border standoff, there's a war of words going on between the government and some opposition leaders. Congress MP Rahul Gandhi posted a question addressed to India's Defence Minister Rajnath Singh. Have the Chinese occupied Indian territory in Ladakh, he asked. The minister has not replied yet. The Chinese, like all of us, are watching. No wonder then, if there's one thing that China truly fears, it's democracy.